Hi, I'm Rosemary Malkovich from 3AB in Australia, and I'm here in the Expo Hall at the 2025 General Conference session in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm glad that you have joined me for this because I am going to be speaking to someone very special who's going to tell us about an Australian evangelist, E.L. Minchin. Go for it. Tell me all about him. First, introduce yourself and then tell us the story.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Dan Augsburger.
Yes.
I do a lot of research in the writings of Ellen White and of famous Christians. And back in the 70s, I traded letters with this pastor, E.L. Minchin, and was very touched by what he shared. And later in life, I discovered that he was probably the leading revivalist in the history of the church. So, for example, in Avondale, he had a revival, and I'll describe just a little bit, read a little bit what happened. 4 days of this period had passed, and we could honestly say that we were enjoying the meetings. But little did we realize that God had in store for us. The break came on the Tuesday evening when a number of young men and women belonging to the prayer fellowship met for prayer and began praying. As a result of that, something deeply spiritual happened. The next morning, he was leading the chapel exercise, and some of the young people began confessing, and it went on first period, second period, third period. They would not stop until the entire morning had come. This went on through the week. Later, students were bringing books down and literature down, and hundreds of people were converted at that point, and it spread throughout all of Australia. Well, in a very providential way, when I was flying home from Thailand one time, I discovered that his granddaughter was on the same flight. Actually, I was flying from Cambodia to Thailand. His granddaughter was on the airplane. And when she told me about E.L. Minchin, I said, well, I used to write letters to your father. So actually the family asked me to develop a website on his life and ministry. The website address is E.L. Minchin, ELMINChin.com. And in that I have the story of his life, audio sermons, written sermons, and they appear as PDFs, as 8x11s to download, and also some PDFs that are very thin so that people in the rest of the world can actually read the PDFs on their telephone. And I'm also trying to have a section there where we talk about, for example, when he spoke on surrender, what did he say? What did he quote of Ellen White? What books did he reference? Here are sermons on the subject, that kind of thing. Because his revivals were completely different. They were what I would refer to somewhat as confession-based revivals. He believed very strongly that people needed to make a complete surrender to God, and to the proportion that they made a full surrender to God, to that proportion God would bless them. And so literally, for example, in some cases he would make an appeal for young men to go into the ministry, and as many as 90% of the young men sitting there would get up and give their lives to God. And so, for example, Lonnie Malashenko was in a meeting, and he heard the appeal, got up, and that's how he became a pastor, he says. When I was a younger man, much younger, I was probably in my late teens, Elder Minchin came to our community, held a weekend meeting close by, and spoke Friday night, and then that Sabbath, the Lord had come to Andrews, literally. The students were sharing testimony for hours after church. They were singing hymns in the cafeteria line, and I remember one of the largest or the greatest mischief makers on campus who decided to go into ministry, moved in with my parents, and I saw firsthand the power of that man's preaching.
Oh, you weren't that mischief maker, were you?
I wasn't the mischief maker. I made plenty of mischief, but not that particular kind of mischief. But the amazing thing was he would come into meetings and churches were changed. And the same thing that happened at Avondale spread to many other churches in Australia. Then he went to England where he was the MV leader. Later he came to the United States where he was first the MV leader, one of them. And then he was a field vice president, just traveling all over the world. So I literally have letters he sent and answers to people's questions. I have his sermons. I have boxes of it the family's given me. And so this is going to be a very rich resource of the thinking and the methods of probably the most successful revivalists within our own denomination. And I used to teach church history, and I studied other revivalists, but I'm happy to say within the Adventist Church we had someone great doing that. So the website address is elminchin.com, ELMINCHIN.com.
Sounds fantastic. Sounds like something worth looking at, and I will definitely be doing that.
Excellent.
And I suggest that you do the same, elminchin.com, and check out this man, E.L. Minchin, and just see what you can find there that's going to help you with your revival in your relationship with God, because that's what you want to do, isn't it?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate learning about this, and I'm sure that you will be blessed by it.